What's up guys, welcome back to another episode of Onmoyji. So today we're going to talk about the April Sigil for summoning, and also we're going to talk about some of the events that is going on right now. And as some of you may know, right now we have the Hozuki's Tales collaboration. So basically this guy is from an anime that I haven't watched yet, so it's hard for me to get excited for this character because of the design. But you know, he is limited edition, so what that means is if you miss this opportunity to get him, you still have one more shot in the future. I don't know when exactly, but do keep in mind there are 3 units being introduced right now that are limited edition, and we're going to talk about their skill sets in a little bit. And also, Paper Doll with Treasure appears. This is actually a very, I guess, nice event. Upon clearing an exploration map, these little dolls will appear, and then if you can defeat these little white dolls, and after the battle is over, you get some of these gourmet realm cards, gourmet food realm cards, and they all give you shards, random shards, and personally I don't really care for it, but you know, it's always a nice bonus to have if you're clearing exploration anyways. And this event is gonna last till April 10th, so just keep that in mind. And we're gonna start with the Paper Doll, and I just want to show you guys what that did for me. I've been farming a lot of explorations in the past 2 days, and yeah, I couldn't really get too excited about the Paper Doll because the drop rate is so low. I must have farmed at least 10 hours, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Got 7 gourmet cards, and they're either 4-star or 5 stars. I mean, these are, again, these are nice to have, but it's not really a big deal to me because the shards that you're getting is random. I mean, you could possibly get an SSR shard, but you know, the chance is so low, I don't really care for it. So I might actually fuse them into something else. Again, it's just a nice bonus. And next we're going to talk about the Hozuki. And first thing I want to talk about, and this is kind of like a biggie, is you can find Hozuki under this team tab, and he's right here. So you can choose to go into any of these dungeons, and every day you get 1 shard. You can get 1 shard from the Hozuki dungeon, and yeah, that's the max you can get. So upon collecting 50 shards, you can summon the SSR unit. And another way to get the Hozuki shard is by summoning using the mystery amulet or jades. And we're gonna do just 10 summons right now just to show you guys. As you can see, I already collected 9 shards. I have 41 more to go, and I got most of my shards through doing the Hozuki dungeons. Let's just do 10. So I'm not really looking to get any good units here. But yeah, you know, just want to do this to hopefully get some Hozuki shards. Oh, 1 SR. That's actually a pretty bad session, but I got pretty lucky there. I got 4 shards, and besides the Hozuki shard, you can also get the Oko Shard. Oko Shard. Oko is a limited unit being introduced in this event, and she's an SR unit, and she's actually pretty interesting, her skill set. So I'm actually more interested in Oko compared to Hozuki. But here it is, and be sure to share the summoning result if you haven't done so already for the week, so you can get a free amulet. Okay, moving on, we're going to talk about the April Sigil, and it's gonna be one line, one diagonal line from bottom left to the top right. Hopefully you can do this right in the first time. Okay, let's try this. It might take you a few tries, because the sigils are always kind of tricky. Okay. Nice. Did I get anything else? I guess not. And then we got Episu, which is great. Let's try again. Bottom left to top right. Okay, wow, that was lucky. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, finally. Honestly, I didn't feel like I did anything differently, but I guess sometimes it just takes a few tries. So please rewind back to see how it was done, and it will take you a few times. And if you got lucky, you might just get it on the first try. But there you go. And I guess I'm happy I got another Hozuki shard. But as I've mentioned before, I'm not too excited about this particular character, simply because, I mean, mainly for his design. His skill set is actually pretty nice, but yeah. And I don't think I'm gonna try to summon for him, so I'm not gonna try to collect all 50 shards in this session. And according to the event page, this unit will come around later in the future, so you get 2 chances of getting him. If you don't have enough amulets to get this guy, don't worry, just try to do the dungeon to get 1 shard every day, and you can worry about the rest next time. And here it says you can share it to get 1 Mr. Amulet, so be sure to do that. So that's like 3 free amulets right there. 1 for the weekly sharing, 1 for the monthly sigil, the mystery sigil, and the 1 more for the Hozuki tail for sharing. So there you go. And besides this SSR unit, there is also this Oko. As I've mentioned before, I liked her much better than Hozuki, and I don't know if I want to try for her. You know, I might decide later. But yeah, she's a guarantee. You guarantee to get her if you do 50 summons. So that's a good news right there. Otherwise, you can just collect enough shards to get Oko through the summoning her from the shards. And lastly, there is Maki and Kalashi, and she is an R-graded unit, which is a very nice unit. She fulfills the role of both the attack bar puller and a healer. So, you know, she's a nice unit, and it only takes 200 talismans to get her from the shrine. So I would suggest that you guys at least get 1 copy of her. If you have the resource to get more, feel free to do so if you like this character. It might be worth it because she can do both the job of the healer and the job of attack bar puller. So she can potentially replace Kamaitachi or Yamausagi. Of course, there's a difference between the two. She does not boost your attack like Yamausagi. So I wouldn't say she can completely replace Yamausagi or Kamaitachi, but you know, it's nice to have at least 1. So I recommend you guys to get at least 1 of these. And it only costs 200 talismans, so that's 2 SR units. So I want to show you guys the skill sets of the units of the limited edition units. So unfortunately, since I do not have any of the, I don't have most of the limited time units yet, so I have to be creative as to where I can show you the skills. So I'm sort of borrowing the Royal Battle units here. So this is Hozuki, and we're gonna start from the Hozuki to the lower grade ones. And pretty straightforward DPS unit, and he is mostly a single DPS, single attack DPS. So what that means is he doesn't really have any AoE skills, he doesn't have any area damage skills. So but if you're looking for a single attacker, this is a nice unit to have. And you know, it's limited editions if you're into just having something nobody has or not as many people have. Consider getting him. So there's actually something that you need to take note of for his skill set. So his normal attack will attack your enemy twice, and it adds up to 100%. So if you want, you can put a Sedator set on him, and it's gonna make him work better compared to the other soul sets. And the first skill actually synergizes pretty well with his second skill. So what the second skill is basically what it says is every time he does damage to your enemy, he has a chance of inflicting daze on your opponent. And it's going to be 22% plus whatever effect hit you have. And this is going to be it synergizes really well with first normal attack, because as you can see here, his first attack only does 30% of his damage, but there's a chance that his first attack will put your opponent into the dazed state. And when he does his second attack, it's going to be a guaranteed critical hit if you can get your enemy to daze with the first hit. So very interesting combo there. And of course, you can utilize this passive skills along with your other Shikigamis. If you have the Hooga, the Phoenix Girl, along with just basically any units that can inflict daze on your opponent's team. It might work with any soul sets that can inflict daze as well. So that is sort of like the meat, and I guess like the strongest part with Hozuki. And the last one is pretty straightforward. It's just three attacks and pretty high damage. Again, this, since it's making 3 attack, it works pretty well with the Seductress set. So that's Hozuki. Let's take a look at Oko. Yeah, Oko. So you know, nothing much to say about the first skill here. Just 100% attack. And again, the part that shines the most with her is her passive skills. So what this passive skill does is it will decreases your enemy's defense, and you can do that for up to 3 times. So 3 times 8 equals to 24%. You can decrease your opponent's defense by up to 24% each time you do damage with Oko. So if you can sort of picture, if you can place Oko on a counter team, and she will just keep adding debuffs onto your opponent. So this is a really powerful passive skill. And yeah, it's just, yeah, she looks pretty good. I'm getting more and more tempted to get her. Okay, so the last skill, summoning a snake force to attack one enemy. So you can do a decent amount of damage, 108%, and also you can do additional 40% damage for each layer of I guess debuff you have on your opponent. And again, she can cause daze as well if your enemy already has 3 layers of snake shadow. So yeah, should I try to get her? You know, I might. I haven't decided yet. So if you guys see her in my team in the future, that's why, because she just looks so, her skill set just looks so good. And at the least, you know, the fact that she can put defense debuff on your enemy by simply doing damage is a pretty big deal. So definitely a really good unit. If anything, I think I prefer her much better than Hozuki. And she's a female unit, so waifu. Yep. Okay, last one is Maki and Karashi. And as I mentioned before, Maki. I'm just gonna call her Maki, or I'm gonna call her Maka, or just call her Maki. Okay, so first skill, it's very straightforward, just normal damage, 100%. And second skill, as I mentioned before, she can raises your move bar, or so she's attack bar puller. But in order for her to, I guess, truly find her true potential, you need to get her skills like way up to level 5, and that might be a problem since she's a limited time unit, and you sort of need to have enough resource to get enough of her from the shrine, unless you're thinking about using skill diorama on her in the future, which is, I guess, it's really expensive. But if you can get her to level 5, then good for you, because then she can do a move bar raise 25%, and in addition to that, HP recovery of 10% of her HP. And lastly, 30% of taking 50% damage only. It's not a big deal, but it's again nice to have. So those are the 3 limited time units. I guess if I were to rank them, I would say I would rank Oko over Maki, and then lastly Hozuki. Yep. And again, even if you're not interested in Hozuki, you should at least try to participate in the dungeon under the team tab, because this is yeah, it's actually something else I want to talk about, and it's very important that you do this. And so after you click on the Hozuki tab and it sort of refreshes, you can see a list of available dungeons to you. And for me, I like to go with a dungeon where there's low level players. The lowest one here is 36, and I usually like to go for anything below 35. And as some of you might know, your opponent or your enemy's level is based on whoever's hosting a dungeon. So if this player was hosting the Hozuki dungeon, then Hozuki is gonna be level 40. And it's not a big deal that Hozuki is at level 40, but I just like my enemy to be of lower level so I can complete the dungeon faster. So if you see a low level host hosting a Hozuki game, those I guess game room usually gets snatched up pretty quickly. And oh, this is great. So let's see if I can get into this. I'll do this later. Okay, so yeah, I would either go for anything below 35, and that's for me personally, because I'm already at level 60, so I can do level 40. It just take longer. And the reason why I wanted to get done quicker is because I don't want to, because I usually turn on my coin buff before I enter into the dungeon. And if you have the coin buff, you might want to consider using it for the Hozuki dungeon, because the Hozuki dungeon actually gives you a very generous amount of coins. And that's actually what I really want to share with you guys, because you get so much coins from this event, and I'm quite happy with that. I was below 1 million coins after the shadow betting event that just ended like a week ago, and that really did a number on my coin reserve. So yeah, it's fine. If you have the coin buff, you might want to turn it on before you enter into the Hozuki dungeon. And once you're ready to start on Hozuki, you want to look for the low level game runes. If you cannot, it's fine, it's not a big deal. It might take you a little bit more time to complete it. but you know, I don't want to be too stingy about the coin buffs. It's not a big deal. So you either go lowest level you can go, lowest level that is below 35. If you're level 80, you want to go below 35, or you can go the other way. Look for any players, any hosters who are at level 60, because most likely they can clear the dungeon with you pretty quickly, because they will have DPS units that are. Why does anyone put on like a lighter or something? I guess I have to do it. Alright. So yeah, I just want to show you guys the layout and the enemy you'll be facing. As you can see here, they're all level 40. And I mean, we're gonna have no trouble clearing it, but you know, since the time is sort of ticking for the coin buffs, I would prefer it if the enemy is of lower grade. But you know, I guess it's not a big deal. I have failed sometimes. I guess it's partly my fault, but I can only bring 2 DPS units, and sometimes you get teammates who do not necessarily understand what to bring, and you know, to be frank, sometimes your teammate can drag you down. So you kind of want to be choosy about the game room you're entering, but again, it's not a big deal. I like the name for this, Altangu. It says Big Guy Dog, which is like a literal translation of my English, my name for my Altangu. And this little fella, this can really wipe out your team if you're not careful. So if anything, you will either want to clear out this unit as soon as possible, or you want to save him to the last and not mess with his health bar. Okay, so let's see how much coins we have. 16,000, which is nice. It's not the highest that I've gotten, but it's nice. So yeah, definitely you want to do Hozuki dungeon as often as you can. To give you an idea, I actually started with 12 hours of battle coin bonus, and I've only used this on the Hozuki dungeon, and I'm down to roughly 6 hours, and that got me almost 4 million coins. Actually, let's say 3 million, because I have also done other stuff like exploration and all that stuff. So definitely a great way to make coins. Yeah, you're gonna hate yourself a little if this event goes away, and the best way for you to earn coins is either through the coin spirit or some other means, which I'll talk about later, but this is by far the best way to earn coins. And the Hozuki dungeon opens up every 30 minutes, and that's for matching. So this part, it takes you either a 30 minutes cooldown for you to join someone else's dungeon, but there's no cooldown at all if you can host it yourself. Okay, so if you can find Hozuki through exploration, that's just free coins to you right there, and that's gonna be a minimal of 6,000 coins without any buffs. So that's again, that's a very good way to make coins, and it costs you 3 APs to host or to join a dungeon. And I can't say enough good things about making coins from this dungeon. So again, if you do not have the coin buff, that's fine, because even without it, it's still a great way to make coins. And be sure to turn it off. I mean, I've been doing great lately in terms of remembering to turn it off, but I know some of you will forget to turn it off, and try to remember. So another way to get Hozuki Shard faster is through the Guild Wish feature. And as you guys may already know, you can wish for whatever shard you want here. So you can, if you wish for the Hozuki Shard and someone feel generous, they decide to give it to you, then you get 1 shard. And you can only ask for a maximum of 1 SSR shard per day. So you will not have enough Hozuki Shard if this is your only way to get Shard plus the Demon Dungeon. But it's a nice way to build up the Hozuki Shard, and it might help you if you decided to also summon and get Shard through that way as well. So you can set up some sort of deal to exchange Exorcism Shard with your guild members, and by doing so, you can hopefully summon Hozuki of your own in the future. As you can see here, I just got 1 shard from my lovely guild member, so that's one way to do it. And one other thing I want to mention is I want to give props to the game for making these little quality of life improvements that it's truly amazing in my opinion, because I find them really helpful. One thing is this little wheel guy on top of the bonus lantern. So what it does is it just tells you whether you have buff turned on, and if there's buff turned on, it's moving. So it serves as a pretty good reminder to those of us who are forgetful sometimes. I wish they can make it into a different color or make it brighter or bigger if it's active though. So that's an amazing feature. So another thing I want to give props to is you can now see your opponent team. This is so amazing. This is really gonna help if you're doing bounty quests. So if I'm trying to complete a bounty quest that requires me to defeat Hitozume, then I can easily check it here, and I can, you know, battle and hopefully win, and that will get the progress for the wanted quest. So definitely an amazing feature. And if you want to check out your enemy's team before going in, again, this is great. It just saves you so much time. Yeah, I'm still pretty amazed that they have this. So yeah, I'm happy about that. And lastly, just to give you guys a quick update on how I've been doing. So I've successfully completed my second grade 6 unit, Ubume. Yeah, she helped a lot, and she's really giving me more flexibility when I'm partnering or co-oping with people in Orochi 10. So that's great. And also my next project is gonna be on Shishio, aka the Deer Boy, which is draining every little bit of resource out of me because he's so expensive to make. But I'm pretty excited to see where he can take me, but I still need to get him to grade 6 first. Yeah, that's exciting. But yeah, that's it. Let me see. Let me know if you guys have any questions down below, and let me know how you guys have been doing. And good luck with the event. Be sure, if you can, try to participate in the Hozuki dungeon as much as you can, because it's just an incredible way to earn coins. You know, just try to do it once every 30 minutes. But again, don't burn out yourself, because it is quite exhausting to have to check back every single time. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.